History is filled with legends, but few are as captivating as the story of Helen of Troy. Known as the most beautiful woman in the world, her name became synonymous with beauty and passion. But who was the woman behind the myth? Was she a victim of fate or a queen? Today, we will explore the epic journey of Helen, from the palaces of Sparta to Troy. Follow this journey to uncover the truth behind the legends that shaped history. Helen was born into royalty as the daughter of Zeus and Leda. Her beauty was divine. She was the daughter of Zeus. Every prince in Greece wanted her hand in marriage. Her stepfather, King Tyndareus, feared a war. To prevent this, the suitors took a famous oath. They promised to defend Helen's future husband. Eventually, Helen married Menelaus, the king of Sparta. For a long time, there was great peace. But across the Aegean Sea, a young prince named Paris was destined to change everything forever. The gods on Mount Olympus were busy with their own drama. During a grand wedding, the goddess of discord felt insulted. She threw a glowing, solid golden apple onto the table. It had a dangerous message: to the fairest. 3 powerful goddesses immediately claimed the prize. They were Hera, Athena, and the beautiful Aphrodite. Zeus refused to choose between the 3 rivals. He commanded Paris, a young prince, to be the judge. Paris was overwhelmed by their divine presence. Each goddess offered him a life-changing bribe. Hera offered power, and Athena offered wisdom. But Aphrodite promised him the love of the beautiful Helen. Paris chose an Aphrodite. In return, she promised him Helen. This deal ignored that Helen was already a queen and a married woman, which was a grave offense. This decision also had terrible consequences. The 2 rejected goddesses, Hera and Athena, felt deep fury. They promised to destroy Paris and his beloved city of Troy. Paris and his sailors sailed across the blue Aegean Sea. Their majestic galley reached the shores of powerful Sparta. He arrived in Sparta as a royal guest of the king. King Menelaus welcomed Paris with a magnificent feast. He trusted his guest, completely unaware of the plot. But Paris was there to take more than just memories. Under the cover of a moonless night, Paris and Helen met in secret in the palace gardens. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and the weight of a dangerous choice. Aphrodite's spell was powerful, making them forget the laws of men and gods. They whispered promises of a new life together across the sea, far from Sparta. Walking stealthily through the shadows, they reached the harbor where the Trojan ship waited. Helen looked back at the sleeping city one last time, her heart filled with conflicting emotions. She stepped onto the wooden deck, officially leaving her crown and her past behind her. The sailors worked in silence, lifting the anchors before the first light of dawn. When the sun rose, the palace was silent, but a storm of fury was about to break. King Menelaus entered the royal chambers, calling for his wife, but he found only silence. He looked at the empty throne and realized his hospitality had been cruelly betrayed by Paris. His cry of anger echoed through the stone halls, marking the end of peace in Greece. Menelaus traveled immediately to Mycenae to seek help from his brother, King Agamemnon. Agamemnon was a powerful leader who saw this insult as a reason to conquer Troy. They decided to invoke the sacred oath taken by all the former suitors of Helen. Every king in Greece must honor his word, they declared, and sail to the east. The port of Aulis became the center of the world as hundreds of ships arrived daily. Legendary heroes like Achilles, the greatest warrior, and Odysseus, the cleverest king, joined the cause. The horizon was covered by a forest of masts and white sails, ready for the long journey. This was the largest army ever assembled, driven by a mix of honor, glory, and revenge. After a long voyage, the Greek fleet reached the dusty shores of the powerful city of Troy. The city was protected by massive stone walls that were said to be built by the gods themselves. The Greeks built a temporary city of tents and wooden huts along the beach. This was the beginning of a long and bloody stalemate that would last for 10 years. From the high towers of Troy, Helen watched the endless battles on the plains below. She saw friends and heroes die on both sides, feeling the heavy burden of the war. The Trojans whispered about her beauty as a curse, while the Greeks saw her as their lost prize. She was truly the face that launched 1,000 ships, but her heart was full of regret. As the years passed, the war claimed the lives of the bravest men on earth. Hector, the noble prince of Troy, fell in battle, leaving his city in deep mourning. Achilles, the nearly immortal hero, also met his destiny on the battlefield outside the walls. The earth was soaked with the blood of thousands, yet the city of Troy remained standing. Exhausted by a decade of fighting, the Greeks decided to use a clever and deceptive plan. They built a giant, hollow wooden horse as a fake offering to the goddess Athena. Their best soldiers hid inside the belly of the horse, while the rest of the fleet sailed away. The Trojans, believing they had finally won the war, pulled the horse into their city. During the night, while Troy celebrated its victory, the Greek soldiers crawled out of the horse. They killed the guards and opened the massive gates for the returning Greek army. In a single night of fire and chaos, the ancient and beautiful city of Troy was destroyed. In the midst of the chaos, Paris was struck by a poisoned arrow and met his end, leaving Helen alone to face her past. The high towers fell, and the legend of the Trojan War was written in the smoke. Menelaus found Helen in the ruins of the palace, his sword ready for revenge. But when he saw her face, his anger melted away, and he chose to forgive her. They returned to their palace in Sparta and lived the rest of their lives in quiet peace. Helen remained a mystery for eternity, a queen, a victim, and the most famous woman in history. Seated once again on her throne in Sparta, Helen reigns once more by her husband Menelaus' side. In the end, the walls of Troy fell, but the legend of Helen remains eternal, a story of a love that changed the course of history. Beyond the wars and the ruins, it reminds us that beauty and choices always carry a destiny. If you enjoyed this journey, please leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Helen was a victim or the cause of the war? Subscribe to our channel for more legendary stories that shaped our world. See you in the next chapter.